I spent $20,000 converting the roof of my Troopy into a tent. But then I went and whacked a rooftop tent on my Prado for a quarter of the price. Now I'm going to tell you guys which one is actually worth it. Today we're going to be comparing this rooftop tent on my 2024 Toyota Prado against this full Alu-cab roof conversion for the Troopy. Everything you want to know. Costs, size, suitability, what I think, everything. So enough fooling around, let's get into it. Now guys, if you haven't watched the channel before, this is our 2024 Toyota Prado LC250, Land Cruiser in the US, Prado in Australia, whatever you want to call it. It is our pride and joy. Just over a year old now. So I get DMs all the time about this car, whether we even still have it. And I know it hasn't been on the channel for the last few months. And there's been a lot going on behind the scenes. We've been doing some mods to it, so we actually are going to talk about that, give you guys a bit of an update on what's happening with the Prado, and also show you the tent. So it's like 2 videos in one. Prado update plus conversion versus rooftop tent. Now the main reason behind doing this video is I get so many questions about that roof conversion and whether it's worth it, whether you can just buy a tent. Because like I said before, they're only about a quarter of the price. Now I know everyone doesn't drive Troopies and a lot of people drive Prados. Well, you drive Utes or whatever. So a roof conversion isn't something that you're going to be looking at. But you guys are still going to gain a fair bit out of this video. I'm going to show you guys basically 2 rooftop tents. So when you're buying one, you can look at what to buy, what not to buy, features you want, features you don't want. Because in this video, I'm going to talk about the things that annoy me about that roof conversion. All right guys, so we're just going to do a quick tour of each one, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about things that I like and dislike on each setup. So let's have a look at this rooftop tent. This is the Alu-cab Gen 3 Overland tent. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's the big boss daddy. It's the top one. It's the big fat one. Now they do make a smaller tent, but I just wanted a really big comfortable one. So let's hop in. Okay, so welcome to my rooftop tent. Now you'll notice that it's got blankets in it. Because best thing about this tent, you can leave all your bedding in here. You can leave heaps of stuff in here. So as you can see, feels good. There's heaps of room. Now I know my bed making probably doesn't look the best. Anyway, usually I keep a doona here, as you can see, and then there's just a throw over the top. One of the most important things about a rooftop tent is the mattress. Now, let's check this bad boy out. So, first thing you have, 50mm foam mattress. Not very comfy. Second thing is this crazy, I don't even know what this is, guys. Can someone let me know what this is? But it's like a spring slash aeration piece or something, but it's soft, like it's squishy. So that gives you a little bit more. Then plus, there's this like foam sort of mat. It's like a camping mat, like what you would have a roll out, like yoga camping mat sort of thing. Thicker than a yoga mat, like a camping mat, like a sleeping. So when you have all those 3 layers together, still pretty uncomfortable. But it's a lot better than what the Troopy comes with, but we'll talk about that soon. Now, other features of this tent. We have a light up here, which I haven't wired in yet. This little vent, which is pretty cool. We also have a big rain fly that comes off on the back, and then over this door as well, we have one that comes out. Down the bottom here, USB ports. So they're pretty sick. Now to use the lights and the USB ports, you do need to plug power into this tent, like through an Anderson plug. I haven't done that yet. That's on the list. Looking at this side, we've got a couple little ventilated pockets here, which actually have the Alu-cab sign on them. That's pretty cool. We have white insulation in here. Probably wouldn't have picked that. White is a bit, you know, it gets dirty easy. I know I'm going to try not to be dirty in my tent. And I know I've got a white blanket. But anyway, as you can see here, guys, we have this big drop-down table in here, which is sick. There's heaps of room on this thing. As you can see here, I can happily sit here. And look, I'm not going to eat my breakfast here, but I could work here if I wanted to. Now up here you have these pockets, keep your stuff in. Like I said, guys, you can fit a heap of stuff in this rooftop tent when it's been closed in. Like there's gap in here, so you can have blankets, mattress toppers, pillows, clothes in here. You can put an iPad up here. pretty good. We're running through all the good things in this tent first. I'll get to the bad stuff later, if there is any. Anyway, pretty good, a lot of room. So if you haven't seen one of these before, this is an Alu-cab roof conversion. So you can get them for Troopies, Defenders, I think 76 series. It's like a baby Troopy with 4 doors, if you've never seen one. And probably a couple of other cars, but basically they chop the top off the car and then you put a tent on and you access it from inside. If that doesn't make sense to you, I'll show you. So this is the back of my Troopy. So basically this is what the back of a Troopy looks like. More the roof of one looks like when the top's been chopped off. You have sort of a carpet material up here, like an automotive roof lining. And then because ours has a back seat conversion in it, we have timber. And I'll show you what that back seat conversion does in a second. But basically you would jump in like this, put your hand up, lift this trap door up, hand on here, lift this up. And now you can stand up inside. You can do whatever you want with your Troopy, but we've put a big bench top in here with an induction cooktop and a sink with hot and cold water. We've got lights in here, so this one's controlled up here. We got USB ports and stuff in here, so each side. If you guys want to see how the Troopy works, you know, we've got a fridge here and a oven or whatever. We do have another video giving you guys a full tour that was probably put out a few months ago, so pretty much most of the mods are in it. So if you want to watch that, I can put it up here. But today we're just going to talk about the roof conversion. So realistically, when it's time to go to bed, you pull this down and there you have it, your bed. You climb up onto your bed. Now there is enough room for me to lay the whole way in here without having this trapdoor closed, but we usually do close this like so. Now when you get the tent, it does come with an extra mattress here, but we remove that and I'll talk about that later. But realistically guys, this is what it looks like inside. We've got the same similar drop down table. We've also got these pockets and stuff up here, 3 windows. The tent is double insulated, so how do I explain that? You can see here there is a gap. So they have like 2 layers of canvas, which makes them super insulative, sound deadening. Light proof is a big one. Both of these are super dark. Like if you have them up, it's pitch black in here. Helps stop condensation, but obviously it does come at the cost of it being a little bit heavier. The conversion also comes with this full roof console with places to mount switches. I have my diff lockers here, the LTG ones. And then I've added a couple of little things like a fan and some lights. Also USB ports and stuff here. Heaps of room for more as well. And then up in here, you can fit heaps of things in here. Like this hand that I put here so I don't have to wave to people. But anyway, now you guys have got your head around what they are, let's go have a closer look at them and compare them. All right, so let's just do a quick little comparison on them. So obviously this rooftop tent here is probably a quarter of the price. It's a bit hard to buy Alu-cab stuff in Australia, but it obviously is getting a little bit easier. There's more dealers coming out and there's now an Alu-cab Australia in Melbourne, so you can actually go directly and buy stuff. But in previous years, it was quite hard to buy stuff, which is a shame because they make really high quality gear, and us being in Australia where we go camping all the time, we need the best of the best. Back to what I was saying, it's hard to compare these two, but they both look very similar. I mean, to the untrained eye, they both look like the same thing. They're just big triangle canvases on the top of the car. Now this tent, you can pick it up for about $5,000. Comparison, a roof conversion is about $20 by the time you get it engineered and take it to wherever it's got to get to. It takes about a week to get these put on, so you lose your car for a week. Like, it's a huge outlay. For example, the tent, I got it delivered to me here in Hobart. The Troopy, I had to take that on the Spirit of Tasmania over to Melbourne and get it done. And it took days to get it done. and then I had to come back. So that's like an added expense as well. So it is a huge outlay. Now the tent here, that's removable. I can take this tent off. There's 6 bolts that hold that on, and I can take this to the supermarket. I can park this in underground garages, and then I can come home, and if I had some sort of hoist system, I could put it back on, 6 bolts, and then I can go camping. So it's super versatile in that way. The Troopy, on the other hand, I can't remove that. Well, I mean, technically I can't remove that. If I did, I wouldn't have a roof. I'd have a huge sunroof. Although the added benefit to a roof conversion is I'm only adding about 100 mil to the overall height of the car, whereas, as you can see on the Prado, it's about 300 mil. So it's definitely a lot more. And what that ends up doing is it means that you use more fuel. So having obviously a lot more on the roof means that this car, it uses more fuel. It just does. Whereas the roof conversion on the Troopy, because it's so integrated and built in, it barely adds anything to it. I know obviously this thing is a gas guzzler and this is a sipper. I mean, depending on how you drive it, but it's basically a sipper. This still uses less fuel than this car, but I will say this is a 2024 and this is a 99 model. So they figured some stuff out in the 25 years, you know? They did some science. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video is I know that now at this time when I'm filming, there is no roof conversions for this car. But with the popularity of this car and pretty much all the Land Cruisers getting roof conversions and everything that's happening, and I've even seen companies like Headspace doing a conversion on an 80 series, I don't reckon it's going to be far away until they're going to be doing roof conversions on the Prado. So if you're watching in 2027 or any later, maybe this video is a lot more relevant to you than for the people that are watching in 2026. All right, guys, before we get too far, I've been getting crazy amounts of questions about the Prado and where it's been, what's been happening. So let me just give you a little bit of an update on what we've been doing with this car and some plans with it as well. So for the past 3 months, this Prado's been missing on the channel. And everyone wants to know where it is. And literally, it's been right here in Tasmania, sitting in a garage for a long time. And then most of the time, Lil just usually uses it to get to the gym, get the groceries, and we take it out on the odd camping trip here and there. But in the next few months, this car is gonna be the center of the channel. It's coming back. Hence the reason I added the tent and an awning and a shower cube and a couple of other little knickknacks. Now I can see you sitting there watching this thinking, this is a new awning, and it is. It's a 270 awning on this car before we had a 180. The biggest drawback of the 270 is this is a wagon, and it's gonna open up into the awning, and I know it is. Look at this. Oh, I've got to stop it there. So, look, I can still access stuff in here, my fridge and that. And look, I'm not gonna lie, it is a slight pain, but if I had something like a 300 or a 200, I wouldn't have done this. But because the Prado has this little trick, this part still goes up. I can still access everything I need. So with the fridge setup that we have in here with the Evercool drawer fridge, it doesn't really work with this setup, not being able to open it, but I can still grab whatever I want. We've still got this Pirate Camp Code drop down table. So all that's still accessible, which is great. You know, this is a huge bit window sort of thing. I mean, it's not a ute. Now, another cool mod I've done is in here. Alrighty, guys. It's so nice in here. I'm not sure whether I've showed you guys what we've been doing in here. We have Uniden UHF in here now. We also have these sick mats from Bedrock, which are wicked. But one of the most recent things that we've got is this bad boy. This is an OBD2 scanner, so it's the Carly one. You've probably seen other people advertise it online, like I have as well, and that's why I have it. This is obviously just like a normal OBD2 scanner, like the Bluetooth to your phone, and you can use it to read everything on your car. So for example, I can use it to read things on my car like coolant temperature and engine speed and oil temperature and like all those things that you need to know. You know, when you're modifying your car and you're pushing it hard, this is where I think the Carly one stands above the rest. Is the Carly app can actually check a few like pretty full-on things. So all you gotta do is just go onto your app and connect, and then you start. Now, the one thing I really like about this car is, obviously, I bought this car brand new, but if I didn't, you can check your car and see whether it's been tampered with. Like, for example, whether they put a new dash in it and somehow made the kilometers go down. So you can see, it will read the engine's computer and it'll be able to tell you like how many run hours are on the car and how many kilometers are actually on the car. Because you'd be surprised at how easy it is just to pull a screen out of a car and put another one's in, and it will show up as that instrument cluster as those Ks. It won't show up as the Ks on the car. And that happens a lot. Like, it's only a couple of $100s to go to the wreckers and get a new dash for a lot of quite late model cars you can do that with. Now, I'm not saying for you guys to go out and do that, but what I'm saying is if you have this Carly OBD2 scanner and the app, you can go and see if someone's doing that and see if someone's lying to you about that. See if they're rebirthing the car, you know, and it will also give you everything like the car's VIN number so that you can check and see if your car's stolen. So next time I'm buying a used car, I'll definitely be taking that with me. But anyway, guys, enough about the 250. I hope you Prado fanatics have got your fix, and I promise there's going to be more stuff coming up. All right, enough waffle. Let's compare these. Why do you want this, or why do you want this? Now, before we compare these two, I know that there are a crazy amount of different setups that you can travel around in. But these two setups, I think, are the most comparable for someone that wants to do hardcore off-roading, overlanding, touring, and camping off-grid. You know, I'm not going to say that you can't tow camper trailers 99.9% of the places. I'm not going to say that you can obviously just put a swag on the back of your ute and it's an amazing time and you sleep amazing. But in my opinion, having a rooftop tent or a roof conversion for a couple is the ultimate way to go when you're trying to do hard wheeling and touring for multiple days at a time in any weather. Doing a roof conversion on the Troopy was possibly some of the best money I've ever spent on a vehicle. This modification completely transformed this car. It's made it to where I can happily travel anywhere I want, in any weather I want, go anywhere I want, realistically, with everything inside. And I want to concentrate on one part, and it's go whenever I want. So I don't have to pick good weather for this. I know it's probably not the best place to be in the rain, but I would 100% pick this over a rooftop tent for bad weather. But for example, when you're over in Western Australia and there's barely any rain, or I know it does get windy, but it's usually warm and everything dries. It's a beautiful place for a rooftop tent. Having the roof conversion is amazing and being able to get inside, but in weather that's perfect, you don't need to be inside. And that's where saving your money and getting a rooftop tent could work. Now, if you're someone that's only going to be doing maximum 3 to 4 week trips, and most of the time it's going to be weekends away and stuff like that, this is a tent for you. Getting a roof conversion is great, but that is a lot of money, time, and investment just for a few weekends here and there. And always remember, when you're cutting the roof off your car, there's no going back as well. Now, this isn't the first rooftop tent I've owned. I've had one of those Kings fold over with the canvas cover that everyone has, and they just don't last. Whereas a tent like this is the kind of thing that you buy once and you have it for 10 years. You have it on multiple different vehicles. It lasts. As long as you treat it right, it's going to treat you right. It's an investment. Now, while we're here, here's a couple little things comparing these two tents together. I know they're obviously both Alu-cab, so I thought they would be the same thing and the same sort of dimensions, but they're not. But for example, in this tent, I can almost stand up in here. So standing on the bed, my head's like this. Obviously I can't fully stand up, but there's a bit of room, you know, I can sort of tuck and move around and all that kind of stuff. Now, if we jump over to the other tent, it's a lot lower, like a hell of a lot lower. I don't know why it's like that. I don't know why they don't make this tent taller, but they just do. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not like you're going to be standing up in your rooftop tent all the time. But I will say, just sort of sitting in this tent compared to being in the other one, that tent feels like it's got a heap more room in it, even though this tent is heaps longer. I guess it just makes the space down the end here so much less usable. So I don't know why they don't make them higher, but this is how they come. Now, before we get too far into something else, it's time to measure the inside of these bad boys. First up, the rooftop with 2140 long, 1200-ish wide, and 1530 to the roof from the mattress. Now the conversion is 2500 long, 1220 wide, and just under 1300 high from the mattress to the roof. But if we measure from the floor, it's 2500. Now that's a lot of room. Also, another one here, this is the height that I sit at with my table in here. It is a good bench, so I can put stuff up there overnight and sort of sleep under it, like there's a fair bit of room. Now, whereas this table here, it's much lower. And because the tent is also folded up more, there's a lot more use of this table. Like this is what it's made for. This table works in here. This is great. I'm not saying the other one's not great, but it's just way less useful than this table. Now remember the mattress in here with all this cool stuff down there? The roof conversion only comes with one 50mm mattress, and it's just on the carpet here. That's all you get there. Now I've got this memory foam topper on here. The reason that there's no covers on this is because right now we're trying to figure out how to make this mattress more comfortable. Also, the way that this tent is designed when it comes down, you can't fit much in here. I can fit this 50mm mattress which comes with it. I can add, obviously we've got this in there, and then if I put a doona in here, I'm pulling this down so hard to get it to shut. Now this is one of the reasons here why there is no cushion here, because it's allowing me extra space. So obviously I would have liked to have the cushion in here, but this means now I can fit more pillows in here. Actually, if you've got a rooftop tent or you're looking at getting one, I've actually got a little surprise for you. This is my pillow that I use. So what it is, it's from Red Gum Camping, and it's a foldable pillow. Basically you fold it out, and so this now becomes my mattress that I used to have here, but then I fold it up and it's my pillow. So basically this product is designed for rooftop tents because, you know, you're trying to get things flat as possible so you can fit as much stuff as possible. And this pillow goes flat. So you can chuck a couple of these in here. Like for example, if the tent that you own doesn't really like fitting pillows in there, lay them out on your bed, spread them out. And for me, it means that I got rid of that mattress there. I just chuck this on. I might want to put another pillow on there or whatever if I can. But most of the time I actually sleep just through here and I don't have my head on this extended piece. So I would have my pillow like that. But anyway, this is a really cool bit of kit. It's actually got pockets as well in here. I don't know what you would keep in your pillow, but whatever you want to keep in your pillow, you can keep in your pillow. And we've actually got a discount code for them as well. It's Lil Jake 5. So the company that makes the bags that go on the back of the car that we always have, the cactus bags, they're now Red Gum Camping, and as well as making bags, they make these sick pillows, so go check them out. So I got a bit sidetracked there, but realistically, the reason that we're doing this at the moment is, I don't know whether I'm going to get another mattress made, or I'm just trying to get this as thin as possible so that I can fit as much stuff as I can in here. I just wish I could have fitted this 20mm topper on top of this with my doona and my pillows in here, and it feel like I wasn't breaking the tent when I was trying to close it, because that's what it feels like at the moment. For example, there's no way if I had the doona and that throw in here, plus this in a sheet, plus that pillow, there's no way, but probably not even with the pillow, I probably wouldn't even be able to close it. You know, and I wouldn't be upset if they just made the roof 30mm higher. All right guys, one big question we've got going on with these is how much do they weigh? Because this is the worst spot to put weight on your vehicle. Now, this thing, the Gen 3, I think it's about 85 kilos, but I think maybe some can be a little bit heavier, especially like if you've got the table or whatever in, but like let's say about 85 kilos. Now the roof conversions, they're 114, but this is where it gets different. So I know again, they're similar, they're not the same cars. They may have the same stripes on them. They may have the same badges on them. They may both be labelled as Land Cruiser on the registration papers, but they're different. So you actually lose about 30 kilos out of the roof that's originally on the Troopy. So it brings this roof conversion down to about 80 kilos, for example. Now, the thing about this is that you need a roof rack to mount this on top. Now we've got like the Rhino platform rack. I can't remember exactly. It's a Rhino rack, platform rack. Beautiful rack. Anyway, this thing's about 30 kilos. So by the time you get this on top and that's about 110 kilos. Whereas, like I said before, you're actually minusing 30 kilos on this. Now, a big thing in the Troopy world that people don't realize is obviously these cars are super tippy, and that's just how they are. They're just narrow and tall, and putting weight on the top is not ideal at all. But when you chop into the roof, you lay your bed at a lower height. So if you were to put a roof rack on this and then a tent on top, you're actually raising it up, and then you're also raising your center of gravity. You're putting more weight higher up. So if you're really off-road focused with your Troopy and you want to sleep on top of it, but you want it to be as stable as you can get. I mean, I know it's never going to be stable being a 78, but like as stable as you can get. Roof conversion is 100% the way to go. It means it's less weight, it's lower down, brings your center of gravity down. In that concern, roof conversion, way better. Also something to add, these cars, they're basically a tin can. Now, for Alu-cab to sort of get this to be on top and be engineered, I mean, I don't know this exactly, and don't hold me to this, but personally, I think that much like support and strength and everything on top of this, like having 2 floors and all this like super hard molded aluminium, I think that it's made the car like 10 times safer in like the rollover capacity, which I know is something that people don't really think about when they're modifying their cars, which is almost another conversation for another day. Personally, I think it's crazy that when you take cars out to racetracks and everything, you have to wear helmets and they have to have roll cages before they can go on the track, and you have to have special licenses and stuff. Whereas in 4-wheel drives, if you put harnesses and roll cages in it, they become illegal. I mean, I know obviously race cars aren't legal and you can't just have a roll cage in a road car, but 4-wheel drive rollovers happen all the time. And I think it's crazy that if I was to put a roll bar in this, technically it would have to be engineered because I've done something about my own safety. But yeah, anyway, like I said, that's another conversation for another day. All right guys, it got a bit windy, so I'm moving inside. And actually, you know what? That sort of answers our first question. Do I think that this $20,000 roof conversion is worth it when I could just get a rooftop tent on my Prado and it basically does the same thing? Well, it doesn't do this. Now, I know obviously you have to build all this for it to be on this level, you know. The Prado's not gonna have an air fryer in the back of it, is it? Now, I know I've been hard on the roof conversion, you know, and I showed you a couple of little things that I didn't like about it, and because if you're watching this video and you're gonna spend all this money, you guys need to know that. You guys need to know these sort of little problems. And look, you know what? They're not really problems. Obviously this tent works. It's crazy waterproof. It's so comfortable. It's probably the place where I sleep the best, to be honest. Fits 2 people perfectly. It obviously gives us the ability to have this amazing space in here and go literally anywhere. So in my opinion, it's probably the best modification I've done to this car, like hands down. And I'm making this video for, I mean, anyone who really wants to watch. But you might be looking at touring around Australia. You might be looking at getting a Troopy and thinking, should I just get a rooftop tent on top of my Troopy? Should I do the roof conversion? You might just be looking at rooftop tents. There might be no other videos left on YouTube that you haven't watched, and now you've had to sit through this one because you just need to watch videos. You might be locked up somewhere and they're using these videos as torture. Sorry, I hope you get out soon. Alright guys, if you made it this far, let us know in the comments. More than likely, a lot of people watching this video are probably going to be looking at buying a rooftop tent themselves. So for the people with experience buying and using these things, leave your feedback down in the comments, and then we can all learn from you guys as well. Be great to start a discussion in the comments. Please keep your discussions polite. But anyway guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all next week.